The Mysterious Forest and the Little Explorer. Once upon a time, in a small village by the edge of a forest, there lived a brave child named Sophie. Sophie loved exploring and going on adventures. One day, she noticed a strange light coming from the forest. Despite everyone being afraid of the deep forest, Sophie decided to go in. Early the next morning, she grabbed her flashlight and set off. When she reached the entrance of the forest, she found a hidden path among the trees. The path led her to a gigantic tree. In the trunk of this tree was a strange door. Sophie opened it, and what she saw was an entirely different world. The sky was purple, the trees were golden. This was a forest inhabited by magical creatures. As she walked further into the forest, she met a tiny, glowing fairy named Ilias. Ilias told Sophie about a magical stone that was lost deep in the forest. This stone kept the forest balanced, but an evil creature had stolen it. Sophie decided to help Ilias. On her journey, Sophie encountered a series of puzzles and dangerous creatures. She had to face a giant spider, navigate through a cave full of traps, and make her way through a dense fog. But Sophie never got scared. With her courage and intelligence, she overcame every challenge. At last, she reached the deepest part of the forest and confronted the evil creature. She retrieved the stone and restored balance to the forest. Ilias thanked Sophie endlessly and gifted her a magical necklace that would give her strength whenever she needed it. When Sophie returned home, everyone was curious to hear about her adventure, but no one believed her. So, she kept her story in her heart. The mystery of the forest and her bravery would remain there forever. And one day, knowing she could open that mysterious door again for another adventure, she fell asleep peacefully. The end. The brave siblings, Emma and Jack. Once upon a time, in a kingdom of lush forests, tall mountains, and mysterious caves, there lived two brave siblings named Emma and Jack. One day, strange news spread throughout the village. It was said that deep in the forest lay a hidden treasure, but it was guarded by a fearsome dragon. No one dared approach the dragon's cave. Emma and Jack, with their adventurous spirits, decided to find the treasure. Fearlessly, they set off with only a map and a few simple supplies. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they encountered magical creatures. The first was a talking owl. The owl told them that the dragon was very powerful, but if they asked the right question, the dragon would let them go. If you ask wisely, the dragon will set you free, the owl said. The siblings thanked the owl and continued on their journey. When they reached the mountains, they came across a vast river. There was no bridge to cross. Just as they were about to lose hope, a water fairy appeared from the middle of the river. The fairy said, "If you show your courage, I will help you cross." Without hesitation, Emma and Jack held hands and jumped into the river. The fairy, impressed by their bravery, safely guided them across. Finally, they reached the dragon's cave. Inside, a gigantic dragon was waiting for them, its eyes glowing fiercely. It roared, "Who dares to touch my treasure?" Jack, remembering the owl's advice, stayed calm and asked the dragon a wise question. "What is the source of your power?" The dragon paused for a moment, then slowly began to shrink. "My power comes from the fear in people," it said. "But you did not fear me. So the treasure is yours." The siblings took the treasure and returned to their kingdom. The dragon vanished forever, and thanks to Emma and Jack's courage, peace returned to the land. The Mysterious Forest in the Sky. Once upon a time, beyond the clouds, there was a mysterious forest that only the stars and birds could reach. This forest was called Lumilar. In Lunalur, the trees had golden leaves, and the flowers had silver petals. But the true secret of this forest was known only to the special creatures who lived in the sky. One day, a curious little bird named Sarah, who lived high above the clouds, decided to embark on a journey to discover Lunalur. She soared through the clouds and finally reached the magical forest. Lunalur's dazzling beauty captivated her, but she sensed that something extraordinary was hidden here. As she wandered through the forest, she spotted a flash of light under a grand tree. Approaching the light, Sarah encountered a tiny fairy. This fairy was Leora, the guardian of the forest's secrets. "Welcome, Sarah," Leora said. "This is Lunalur, a place that opens only to those with brave hearts. But to truly understand its magic, you must pass a test." Sarah, though a little scared, gathered her courage and nodded. Leora created a glowing orb of light and handed it to Sarah. "If you place this orb at the top of the tallest tree in the forest, you will discover Lunalur's secret." Sarah took the orb and flew deeper into the forest. The wind was strong, and strange sounds echoed around her. Yet, Sarah pressed on, overcoming her fears. At last, she reached the tallest tree in the forest. Its branches stretched far beyond the clouds. After a challenging climb, Sarah placed the glowing orb at the top of the tree. At that moment, the entire forest began to shine. Silver flowers bloomed, golden leaves sparkled, and the forest came to life. The secret of Lunalur was revealed. This forest was a magical place that granted wishes to those with brave and pure hearts. Leora returned to Sarah, smiling. "Now you know the secret of Lunalur. It's time to make a wish." Sarah thought about the great secret she wanted to share with all the birds in the sky. "I wish for every bird to see this beauty," she said. Leora waved her magical wand, and colorful lights spread across the sky. From that day forward, all the birds in the sky could visit Lunalur and have their own wishes come true. And so, the magic of Lunalur remained open to all brave hearts. The end. The magical journey of the forest. Once upon a time, there was a curious girl named Emily who lived near the edge of an enchanted forest. Emily was always intrigued by the whispers and mysterious lights that came from the forest. One day, she gathered her courage and ventured deep into the woods. As she walked, a bright red butterfly began to flutter in front of her. The butterfly led Emily down a path. But this was no ordinary path. It was lined with glowing flowers and colorful lights that filled the air with joy. The butterfly spoke, "This is the magic road, one that only the brave can cross." "We need your help." Emily continued walking with the butterfly and eventually reached a clearing. There, by a magical pond, sat an old wise man. The wise man said, "Welcome, Emily. Our forest is threatened by dark forces. Only you, if you find the courage within yourself, can stop this danger." Though a bit frightened, Emily took the magical staff the wise man handed her and set off toward the darkest part of the forest, known as the Valley of Shadows. Along the way, she encountered a giant tree monster. But with the power of the staff, she kindly subdued the creature. It turned out the monster was under an evil spell. Emily broke the curse, and the creature thanked her, leaving the forest in peace. At last, Emily arrived at the Valley of Shadows and found the source of the dark forces, a crystal that radiated fear and darkness, disrupting the balance of the forest. Emily raised the magical staff, summoning all her strength, and shattered the crystal. Instantly, the forest was flooded with light, the trees turned green again, and animals happily ran around. Emily felt proud to have saved the forest. The wise man said, "Your courage has restored life to this forest," and thanked her. Emily returned home as a hero, and the whispers of the forest now sent her messages of peace and joy. And so, Emily's magical journey became a legend, teaching everyone that the greatest magic of all is courage. The end. The mystery of the wind and brave girl Alara. Once upon a time, in a land of towering mountains and vast forests, there lived a brave girl named Alara. Her small village was located on the edge of a massive forest, and the village elder often told tales of a secret hidden deep within the woods. According to legend, at the heart of the forest, there was an ancient temple where a magical door opened for one night each year. Through this door, a mystical wind that could grant wishes would blow. One day, Alara's younger brother fell seriously ill, and no one could cure him. Alara believed that the only thing that could save her brother was the legendary magical wind. She decided to venture into the forest to find it. The journey would be dangerous and difficult, but Alara was determined. At the first light of dawn, Alara set off. The forest was dark, and strange sounds echoed with every step. Yet, Alara pushed forward, conquering her fear. For days, she walked, facing fierce storms and giant creatures along the way. But with her courage, she overcame every challenge. At last, she reached the ancient temple hidden deep in the forest. It was midnight, and the stone doors of the temple slowly opened. Inside, Alara saw the glowing, magical wind. The wind approached her and whispered, "You have one wish, Alara. Make your wish, but remember, every wish comes with a price." Alara paused for a moment. She couldn't miss this chance to heal her brother. "I wish for my brother to regain his health," she said. The wind accepted Alara's wish and rose into the sky, vanishing from sight. But suddenly, Alara noticed something strange. The forest around her seemed unfamiliar. Everything had changed. Then she heard a voice. "Every wish has a price, Alara. Your price is that you can never leave this forest." Alara realized she was trapped in the forest, but the thought of her brother recovering brought her peace. However, new adventures awaited her in the depths of the forest. Perhaps one day, she would find a way out. The story ends here, but Alara's adventures in the mysterious forest had only just begun. The secret of the mysterious forest. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a curious child named Emily. Emily loved nature, especially the large, mysterious forest at the edge of the village. The villagers often warned her not to enter the forest, telling stories of those who had ventured in and never returned. But deep down, Emily felt like the forest held a secret just waiting for her to discover. One day, gathering all her courage, she packed her backpack and set off into the forest. As she walked among the towering trees, she was enchanted by the chirping birds and the whispering wind. Suddenly, under the shade of a grand oak tree, she found an old, peculiar map. The map led to a hidden place deep in the forest, known as the Magical Lake. Legend had it that this lake could grant any wish. Emily took the map and continued her adventure. Along the way, she made friends with the animals of the forest. An owl helped guide her, and a fox assisted her in crossing rocky paths. With the help of her new friends, Emily followed the signs on the map and finally reached the magical lake. The water shimmered with a bright blue glow. As she approached, a beam of light rose from the lake and whispered, "Make your wish." Emily thought carefully. Her only wish was to share the beauty and peace of the forest with everyone. As soon as she made her wish, magical flowers bloomed around the lake, and a rainbow stretched across the sky. Emily's wish had come true. The villagers realized that the forest was not dangerous, but instead held a world of peace and beauty. As Emily returned to the village, birds flew above her as if celebrating. Now, everyone could explore the forest safely and share in its wonders. Emily was remembered as the brave hero who unlocked the secret of the forest and opened it for all to enjoy. But the forest always kept a small secret of its own, as if one day, it would whisper a new adventure to Emily.